Hello everyone, this is Bilal from English with AB, and today I'm going to call a student who is from Sri Lanka, and she has been learning English for some years. So I'll ask her that what she's doing at home to learn English and what activities she's doing to improve her English at home. So we will get some tips from her. So let's call her. Hello. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Sarah.
Okay. So that
Yes.
is that is not your real name,
So
right? What's your real name?
I am Sarala,
You're Sarala.
Sarala Sashi.
So what should I call you?
Uh, Sarah. It's my nickname.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Sarah, so what do you do?
Uh, I'm an undergraduate student. I'm unemployed. Uh, so
Okay.
these things actually I'm just studying.
Right.
That's all about.
Okay. Okay, so now let's talk about English. So first of all, tell me that why are you learning English?
Uh, okay. Okay. First of all, I would say that English is the most common and also dominant language
Mm-hmm.
that we could use to communicate with any people who live in around the world. So now it has become a global means of communication. So because of that, companies are becoming more international. So
Okay.
English is listed as an essential skill
Mm-hmm.
for more jobs. I think having this skill increases our chances to get in a good job with higher paid
Mm-hmm.
and uh, as well as now English is the international language of media. So
Mm-hmm.
we would be privileged to gain a lot of knowledge by accessing a lot of content on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
which is written in English. Um, then we don't have to depend on the translations. So I think learning English it helps us to extend our knowledge more further.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree with you that English has become really important. And you cannot
Yes.
survive actually without learning English because if you want a job, you will have to give your interview in English. If you go to a
Yes.
hospital, the instructions are in English language, so everything is in English language. So, right, as you said, if you want to expand your knowledge, so you must learn English because most
Yes.
of the things on the internet are also in English. Okay, Sarah, so how long have you been learning English?
Mm, Actually, I have been learning English since my childhood,
Mm-hmm.
um, like roughly more than 5 years. I can't remember the exact time period.
Okay.
It's been less than 1 year since I started speaking in English. Uh, Actually, when I was schooling, I just focused on my to extend my vocabulary and to read and writing skills,
Mm-hmm.
not speaking in.
Okay.
So I think I took a little long time because I didn't have access to internet, so I just did self studies
Mm-hmm.
with the help of books.
Okay.
So, but I started to focus on speaking. Now
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been less than 1 year
Okay.
since I started speaking in English.
All right. So
Yeah.
basically, you have been learning English since you were a child, and you have been
Yes.
focusing especially on your English speaking for an year.
Yes. Then, yeah.
Yeah, it has been a long time, 4 or 5 years, and you have been focusing on your English speaking for less than a year. So that's what it takes you to
Yes.
learn an entirely new language because people I have seen they get frustrated, when they don't improve in a short time because in some institutions they promise you to teach you English in just 2 or maybe 3 months. So when students go there and when they don't improve in just 2 months, when they don't learn English in 2 or 3 months, they get frustrated with themselves and they think that they cannot learn English. But the
Yes,
but the
yes,
problem is that they are not giving enough time because it's a new
yes,
language, so you will have to spend an immense amount of time to learn it. So there is vocabulary, phrasal verbs, grammar. So there are many things. So you must be willing
yes.
to spend a huge amount of time, and consistency is also important. All right. So now let's talk about that. Did you learn English at home or did you take any course?
Yes, I did self studies at home by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I gained knowledge of grammatical rules and all these things by self studies, by doing self studies.
Mm-hmm.
But I took just two classes when I was schooling, but I think it was not sufficient to me. So then I started to learn by myself doing self studies. So
Okay.
it worked on me. I could able to gain huge knowledge of English.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I practice English at home by myself.
All right. So you self-study, you take help from the internet. So tell us that what activities did you do or what activities you still do to learn English at home?
Mm, Actually, um, I do activities to improve my English knowledge. I read a lot of articles and books, uh, everything which is written in English. Uh, Also, I used to watch movies with English subtitles,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm listening to news local and international news.
Okay.
So while I doing these activities, I used to note down new words, some particular sentences.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then it helps me to keep me more conscious about that. So I still do the same.
Okay. All right. So in every language there is listening, there is speaking, there is reading, writing, vocabulary, and grammar. So now I'll ask you one by one that how did you improve these things? So let's start with
Okay.
listening. So what did you do to improve your listening?
To improve my listening skill, I used to listen to local and international news, as well as I watch TV talk shows, which is streaming in English.
Okay.
And yeah, I think this is how I improve my listening skills, like listening to everything which is streaming in English.
We're done with listening. Now let's talk about reading. Yes, you have mentioned that you read a lot, but tell us more about what you did to improve your reading.
Okay, yes. I used to read a lot of articles as well as books.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Actually, from the childhood, I used to read books with loud voice. It helped me a lot how to pronounce word at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do now it. Um, it helps me at the beginning. So, but now I read a lot of articles, books,
Mm-hmm.
which is written in English. Um, yes, this is how I improve my reading skills.
So you have mentioned a very important point that you can also improve your pronunciation if you read aloud, and if you want to improve your accent, so you should also read
Yes,
loud. So by reading newspaper article or books in English language, you are not just improving your reading, but you are improving other skills as well, right?
yes,
Okay, now let's talk
that's
about
true.
okay, now let's talk about the most important thing. which is speaking, because most people they just want to learn to speak. They want to learn to speak
Yes.
English. So
Yes.
you tell us that what activities did you do to improve your speaking, and what you still do to improve your English speaking skills.
Yes. To improve my speaking skills, actually initially I didn't have anyone to talk with. So then I started to speak with myself. I talk to myself a lot.
Okay.
So um, so sometimes I talk to myself and in front of the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
like in imaginary world.
Yeah.
Uh, I think this is how I improve my speaking skill.
So when you
Mhm.
are practicing with yourself, did anyone else see you while doing that?
Not yet, but my mothers know and my sisters know.
So they don't think that you are crazy because when you are talking.
Sometimes,
Okay.
sometimes because very recently I was scolded by my mother.
So you have mentioned a very important point that when you don't have anyone to talk to, then you can practice with yourself. And many people, even I, used to make this excuse that I don't have people to talk to in English language. So people also they
Yes,
also make this excuse that they don't have anyone to talk to. So even I have said in one of my videos that if you want to improve your speaking and if you don't have any partner, then you can practice with yourself. You can talk in front of a mirror, you can choose any topic and then you can talk about that topic, or you can talk about your daily routine, and you can talk about anything in English language. You can also improve your English speaking by just thinking, because when you are
yes,
thinking in English language, so sometimes there are some words that you don't know, and when you are thinking
yes,
about them, so you find out that I don't know these particular words, then you can search those words
yes.
from the internet. So it also helps. Right, okay, we are done with speaking as well. Okay, now let's talk about writing. How did you improve your writing?
Um, I think I improve my writing. I did this exercises when I was schooling by doing um, some exercises such as writing an essays and letters, formal letters as well as informal letters, notices. Mm, like those things I used to write in my book,
Mm-hmm.
and I create my own words, like I create my own sentences. Yeah, these are the activities I did.
Okay. And you also read a lot. So reading also helps to improve your writing as well, because when you are reading,
Yes,
so then you know that
yes,
where to put comma, where to put semicolon, where to put full stop. So when you read
yes,
a lot, so you also improving your writing.
yes, yes. It helps us to form the sentences in
Yeah.
correct way, in
Yes.
correct grammar pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. Okay, we are done with writing as well. Now let's talk about vocabulary and new words. How did you improve your vocabulary, and how do you expand your vocabulary?
Yes. I wanted to expand my vocabulary. I read lot of articles and books. So then I noted down when I meet new words.
Mm-hmm.
So then I used to collect new words as my hobby.
Okay.
So this is how I think I extended my vocabulary. It has become my hobby now.
Okay. Collecting new words
Yes,
is
I
your
do. It's
hobby.
always yes. Yes, it has become. It turned to that way because I always do it.
Okay.
Um,
Well, it's a great
Yeah,
hobby to have.
yeah.
So, you read a lot and you collect new words by reading. So, on average, how many words do you learn in a day?
Um, mm-mm. Sometimes I get more than 10. Usually now these days I get like five to six words.
Yeah, five is a good number. If you are learning five words in a day, you are learning 150 words in a month. How do you use these words? Some people they have difficulty to remember new words. They complain that they learn a word and after some days they forget that word. So, what advice would you give that how can we learn words for forever?
Yes, I think we have to always repeat words, and it's better to always form a sentences by putting this word into it.
Yes, you are right. If you want to remember a word for forever, so you must use this word into a sentence. And I always say this, whenever you learn a new word, try to make at least three sentences using that word. So
Yes,
if you make three
yes,
sentences, and the second thing that you have to do, you should revise this word after at least a week. So if you revise this word, then it will stay in your memory for forever. Okay, we're done with vocabulary as well. Now let's talk about grammar. And for many English learners, it is the most boring thing because they think, grammar is really boring and they don't want to learn grammar and they want to learn English without learning grammar. So, do you think that
yes.
we can learn to speak if you don't learn grammar?
No, I think grammar is the most important part. It plays huge role. So I think grammar will help us to form the sentences. I learned grammar by myself, studying a lot of books.
Okay. Yes, it's really important, You cannot learn to speak without grammar. So, if you want to speak perfect English, so you must learn grammar and then you will have to learn other things. So, even though, many people find grammar really boring, but you still have to do that unless you are living
Yes,
in an English speaking country, because if you are living in an English speaking country, so you might be able to learn English without grammar, because you are when you are living in that environment where English is being
yeah,
spoken everywhere and English is being used
yes,
everywhere. So you get to learn by environment, you get to learn by other people. You might not even have to learn English by books. But for those people who
yes,
are
that's
living in
true.
non-English speaking countries like us, so they first
Yes,
have to learn grammar and after that they can learn other things. So grammar, it's really important.
yes, it's true.
Okay, so we are done with listening, reading, speaking, writing, vocabulary on and grammar. Okay, now let's talk about we are done with everything. So at the end of the video, I would like an advice from you. What advice would you like to give to those people who are learning English?
Um, I think if we want to speak English better, uh, definitely we have to speak
Okay.
English. Otherwise, we cannot become a good speaker, and we should not lose our touch with the English.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that. It's like if you want to learn to swim, definitely you have to jump into the water. So
Right.
otherwise, I think we cannot swim. We are drowning.
Uh-huh.
So then, so I can give my opinion as an advice. Definitely, we have to put our effort into speaking in. We have to speak.
Okay, great. And you have given a beautiful example that if you want to learn how to swim, then you will have to go into the water. You cannot just learn how to swim by reading a book or just by reading rules from the internet. So you will have to do the practical,
Yes.
you will have to get into the water. That is very true that if you want to improve your English, then you will have to start speaking. Even if you make mistakes, but you still have to do it, and eventually those mistakes will go away if you keep practicing and if you keep speaking. But the most important part is that you start speaking, whether you are speaking with yourself or if you have someone to talk to, that's great. But if you don't have anyone to talk to in English language, then there are many ways to practice. Okay, Sarah, so that is the end of the video. And thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate that. And we
Thank
had,
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
yes, we had great fun. So goodbye and take care of
Yes.
yourself.